There's nothing like a rags to riches story to inspire even the most jaded souls, and one such story is that of IKEA founder Ingvar Kamprad. The man who turned flat-pack Scandinavian-designed furniture into a global phenomenon was born on a small farm called Elmtaryd, near the village of Agunnaryd in Småland. That may not mean much to those of us who didn't grow up in Sweden, but to Swedes, the region was a symbol of the challenges that came with rural poverty. Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA, didn't have an affluent start in life. He grew up on a very poor farm in Elmtaryd, Agunnaryd, Sweden. His family had to work hard to make a living, and that included Kamprad, even as a child. His entrepreneurial nature began to blossom at age 6, when he started selling matches around the neighborhood. By age 10, he'd expanded his business. Kamprad sold Christmas decorations, fish, and pencils, and delivered them throughout the neighborhood from his bicycle. Perhaps those early sales days later inspired IKEA's eclectic selections. When he was 17, Kamprad's father rewarded him for doing a good job in school. And this wasn't some everyone gets a ribbon kind of parenting. Kamprad was dyslexic, and his success in class did not come easily. So, his father gave him a little bit of money for his excellent marks. But instead of blowing it all on movies and clothes like an average teenager, Kamprad started his own business. Not content to sell the winning combo of Christmas ornaments and fish forever, in 1943 he founded IKEA, which stood for Ingvar Kamprad from Elmtaryd, Agunnaryd, basically his name and his hometown. That's probably why you never had success finding out what IKEA meant in your Swedish English dictionary. One of the most notable aspects of IKEA furniture are its great Scandinavian names. Isn't it more fun to order an Ektorp rather than a plain old sofa? Well, IKEA didn't decide to give their products quirky titles just for fun. The naming system is actually a product of Kamprad's dyslexia. Usually products would simply go by number, but due to his dyslexia, numbers were difficult for Kamprad to handle. So, he gave everything a name. Kamprad was no stranger to controversy, and it is said his favorite line was, "Only those who are asleep make no mistake." He was known for undercutting his rivals, so much so that producers and retailers boycotted the company, and he was banned from taking part in furniture fairs. His solution was to take production to Poland where costs were lower. The company was accused of plagiarism, and in 1994, the media asked him to come clean about his Nazi past. While Kamprad claimed he had no memory of being a paid-up member of the Nazi Party, he had undeniably close ties with Sweden's fascist leader Per Engdahl for many years. Kamprad was also a shrewd businessman. He left Sweden for Denmark in 1973 to avoid paying taxes. 4 years after that, he was living in Switzerland. His practices even launched an official EU investigation. But Ingvar Kamprad was a modest man. Before his death in 2018, Kamprad was known for driving around in his 1993 Volvo when he wasn't cycling, a lifelong passion. He called his employees co-workers, flew economy class, and stayed in cheap hotels. He even bought cheaper supermarket booze to restock his room's minibars. IKEA has become a staple of affordable furniture, but there's a lot more to this chain than Allen wrenches and Kottbühler. Seemingly synonymous with college students and recent grads, it's revolutionized the furniture industry, influenced home decor, and is still rapidly growing. It's clear that Kamprad makes a pretty good living since the lowest estimate of his net worth comes in at $3.5 billion, according to Fortune. But no one but Kamprad knows exactly how much he makes from the company. Since he doesn't technically own the IKEA Group or Inter-IKEA, the companies that handle the stores and brand respectively, his financial information is unclear. In fact, IKEA's financial structure is designed to hide who all the money is going to. The bright people at Fortune magazine couldn't even figure it out. If anyone wants to pry the information from Kamprad's son's hands, good luck. According to the magazine, his 3 sons have never given a single interview even though they're directly involved in the running of IKEA. So, financial forecasters just have to guess at Kamprad's worth, which according to Fortune, could be as much as $42 billion. That'll get you a lot of Billy bookshelves. There was a time when IKEA wasn't omnipresent in America. In fact, their first attempt at American business went pretty badly. In 1985, they opened a store in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. Everything was measured in centimeters, and a lot of the sizes didn't suit American tastes. For example, The stores sold tons of vases, not because Philadelphians got really into flowers that year, but because they used them as drinking glasses. The actual glasses were much too small, since IKEA didn't anticipate the love of iced beverages in the US. A former executive told Fortune, "We thought everything was going to be easy, and it was hell." According to the New York Times, in 1992, IKEA considered pulling the plug on American efforts altogether. Luckily, they decided instead to delve into intense market research to really find out where they went wrong. Now, IKEA places a premium on market research when expanding into new territory. Head of research Michael Idholm said in Fortune, "The farther away we go from our culture, the more we need to understand, learn, and adapt." With this new method of analyzing cultural differences and needs, IKEA has been able to open stores all around the world. Despite their many successes, IKEA is not impervious to failure. In 2012, the retail giant debuted the Uppleva, an all-in-one entertainment system that contained an HD TV and Blu-ray player. It sounded great, but the results? Not so good. Gizmodo reported on translated reviews from M3 in Sweden, who got the first look at Uppleva, that claimed the furniture itself was perfectly nice and easy to put together. The TV had poor image quality, and though it could interface with the internet, it did so insanely slowly. And sometimes button presses would just do nothing. For $1,000, people expected a lot more. Not surprisingly, the set is no longer sold, though you can still get an Uppleva wall mount if you're really dedicated. In Europe, IKEA sells actual houses. Yes, you can really buy a home that's made by IKEA in prime IKEA style. Called the Boklock concept, their goal is to provide affordable housing. As the Boklock website once described it, the idea of our concept is, in short, that our customers should get as much house as possible for as little money as possible. Though it's easy to make a lot of jokes about IKEA, they've actually done quite a service to the industry. They made a formerly expensive part of living into an affordable and easily accessible shopping experience. You may take your Billy shelf for granted now, but remember that IKEA made your simple, flat-packed, post-grad apartment possible.